Hands cupped together, blue energy in the name of a Hawaiian king. This is the Kamehameha. And it is easily one of the most recognizable pillars of pop culture, first coming into existence in Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball manga. From then on, the energy attack became the signature move of Goku, resulting in countless uses of the destructive wave throughout the Dragon Ball franchise. From the King Piccolo Saga to the Universal Survival Saga and beyond, Goku's Kamehameha stands as a staple of the series. But which among his many Kamehamehas are the most iconic, the most important, the coolest? We're determined to find out, so strap in for a ranking of Goku's best Kamehameha in all of Dragon Ball. Starting at the bottom, we have the very first time that Goku used the Kamehameha. This first usage occurred after Master Roshi performed the first Kamehameha of the series when he used it, along with his max power form to put out the fire engulfing the Ox King's castle. The move worked, but it also completely destroyed the castle. Another side effect was that Goku became interested in performing the Kamehameha technique. Thus, he attempted to try the attack, something that Roshi believed would be impossible for a novice like him. However, Goku managed to pull it off, albeit it was a weaker blast, but he still did the Kamehameha on his first try, after only seeing it performed once. That's pretty impressive. Since it was the first time Goku performed what would become his signature attack, we had to include it in the best of list. However, since it was a pretty lackluster Kamehameha and a somewhat forgettable moment overall, this usage of the Turtle Destruction Wave ranks in at number 10 in our list of Goku's best Kamehamehas. Yes, it was an important, series-changing moment in Dragon Ball history for sure, but there were far more iconic and significant uses of the Kamehameha that would come later down the line. For the next Kamehameha in our rankings, we have to fast forward all the way to the future Trunks saga of Dragon Ball Super. This saga could easily be seen as one of the best, if not the best, sagas to come out of Dragon Ball Super. We offer that the reason for this was because it had the perfect balance of new and old ideas, bringing a new and unique threat to the table while using older elements from the franchise to accent it. We are, of course, talking about how Goku Black proved to be a great protagonist, and how he was defeated by an old concept from Dragon Ball Z, Potara Fusion. From this fusion, we also got one of the best Kamehamehas Goku has ever performed. Well, it technically wasn't a Kamehameha, it was actually a final Kamehameha, a fusion attack combining Goku's signature move with Vegeta's final flash. Semantics aside, this final Kamehameha was absolutely epic. And even if it didn't manage to do that much damage to Zamasu, the attack still cemented the moment as one of the best in the series. Seriously, look at how cool the two attacks combined appear. For these reasons, this fusion-created Kamehameha ranks in as the 9th best Kamehameha Goku has ever performed. Coming in at number 8 is the God Kamehameha. This specific attack comes courtesy of Goku's Super Saiyan God form, which gives him divine ki that enhances his Kamehameha to extreme lengths. Goku achieved such power by performing a special ceremony in which he used the Super Saiyan power of 5 other Saiyans to temporarily transform into a deity known as the Super Saiyan God. The Kamehameha that resulted from this transformation was awesome for a number of reasons. First and foremost, the visuals of the God Kamehameha are dope as heck. Rather than the energy forming like usual, Goku gathers energy from the air, and it looks frickin' epic. Throw in some electricity and the coolness of his new form, and the first God Kamehameha that Goku ever performed made for an awesome part of his fight with Beerus. Which leads us to the second reason it was so epic, the effect that it had. Though Beerus was able to dodge this test drive of Goku's new Super Saiyan God power, we still got to see the power of the God Kamehameha as it parted the water in the ocean and shook the earth. All these awesome elements combined made for one of Goku's best Kamehamehas in the Dragon Ball franchise. Next up, we have the finishing move that Goku used to defeat King Piccolo. This powerful villain was a first for the series, standing as the first major antagonist for Dragon Ball and thus the template for all future villain-centric sagas to follow. He was also incredibly strong. So strong, in fact, that Goku lost pretty badly to him in their first fight, nearly losing during their second encounter. But even with his body beaten and battered, Goku was able to defeat King Piccolo, doing so with one of the best, coolest, and most iconic uses of his signature Kamehameha attack. We are, of course, talking about when Goku used his one good hand to shoot a single-handed Kamehameha to propel himself off the ground. With this momentum, Goku put up his fist and punched a hole straight through King Piccolo, killing him in one of the coolest ends to a battle in the entire franchise. The reason this was so epic was because the Kamehameha wasn't actually used as an attack. It wasn't the beam of energy that actually pierced King Piccolo's torso. Instead, Goku creatively used the blast like a rocket, a smart decision that gave Goku the win. Thus, this one-handed propulsion Kamehameha ranks in at number 7. Goku's one-handed propulsion Kamehameha was pretty badass, but just as the Piccolo Jr. Saga raised the stakes and power of the King Piccolo Saga, Goku brought an even more badass Kamehameha to the table during the final fight of the 23rd World Martial Arts Saga. Like his fight with King Piccolo, Goku's battle against Piccolo Jr. took everything he had. After a back and forth of the two opponents showing off their power and gaining the upper hand, Goku broke out one of his secret weapons, a technique he developed from his training with Kami and the massive power increase he gained from it. We are of course talking about the Super Kamehameha. Goku broke out this attack when things started to look rough, unleashing the Super Kamehameha upon Piccolo Jr., and it was awesome. The move isn't all that different from a regular Kamehameha, it just has super in the name and is much stronger, since Goku funnels far more ki into the blast. The result is a massive wave of energy that Piccolo took head-on in one of the coolest moments in the franchise. Seriously, the first Super Kamehameha was huge, and the resulting display of awesomeness is why it ranks as number 6 in our list. As if Goku's first God Kamehameha wasn't badass enough, he broke out an even more badass version of it during the Universe 6 Saga's Tournament of Destroyers. It was in this tournament that Goku got to face off against Hit, a rather unique addition to the franchise. Hit, an assassin gifted with the ability to skip forward in time, gave Goku quite a bit of trouble when the two fought each other. Goku likely had the advantage in terms of strength, but Hit's time power made him impossible to fight. Thus, Goku was forced to push his body to extremes, combining his Super Saiyan Blue power with a long-forgotten technique, the Kaioken. But that wasn't all. Goku also multiplied the Kaioken to 10, using the power to shoot a massive Kamehameha that was so awesome it just had to be in our ranking. Seriously, look at the sheer size of this Kamehameha. It practically destroyed the entire arena. Of course, in the end, performing such a powerful version of the Kamehameha ended up being far too much for Goku, and his body gave in to the toll that was taken by his double transformation. As a result, Goku lost the fight, but he still managed to make the list with the badass 10 times God Kamehameha. Next up, we have another combination Kamehameha that stands as one of the coolest in the series. Coming in at number 4, it's the Instant Transmission Kamehameha. Specifically, the time he used it against Perfect Cell. During his fight with Cell, Goku seemed to be giving the battle everything he had, going at the villain hard and fast. There wasn't really much of a point to this, since Goku knew he wasn't strong enough to beat Cell, and he didn't even wear him down, giving Cell a Senzu beam before Gohan entered the ring. But it did give us one of the greatest Kamehamehas in the series. Goku charged up his Kamehameha with enough power to destroy the Earth, which he might have done since he was aiming down from the sky. But at the last minute, Goku used Instant Transmission to get on the ground and aim upwards at Cell, causing him to be reduced to nothing but a pair of legs. Of course, Cell regenerated and Goku gave up the fight soon after, but the attack was still awesome as heck. In fact, because of how creative, powerful, effective, and cool it was, this torso-destroying Kamehameha ranks in at number 4 on our list of Goku's greatest Kamehamehas. Rolling into the top 3, we have a surprisingly recent entry in the form of what has been called the Slide Kamehameha. This version of the attack comes courtesy of the Universal Survival Saga of Dragon Ball Super. This saga depicted the Tournament of Power, a battle royale between every universe at risk of being erased by the Zenos. The tournament would decide which universes would be erased and which lone universe would remain intact. The Tournament of Power was an incredibly difficult fight for Goku and the rest of Universe 7. But luckily, Goku managed to learn a new technique during the fight, Ultra Instinct. One of the first badass uses of this technique came when Goku was fighting against Kefla, the Potara fusion of kale and cauliflower. Their combined power almost proved to be too much until Goku broke out Ultra Instinct, which let him move on instinct alone, resulting in a badass Kamehameha wherein Goku used energy balls to slide across and thus avoid Kefla's energy attacks, getting closer and closer until he could unleash a Kamehameha and knock the fusion out of the fight. The animation on this sequence was absolutely insane, and the overall creativity of the Kamehameha puts it at number 3 in our ranking. Alright, down to the final 2, and our choice for Goku's second best Kamehameha is not technically Goku's. But there's a reason for that. See, we chose the Kamehameha that Gohan used to defeat Cell, an attack that is by all means Gohan's, but Goku was still involved with it. Plus, it's one of the best finishing moves in the entire franchise, so we had to include it. As for how Goku was involved, by this point in the fight against Cell, Goku had already died by sacrificing himself to Cell's self-destruction, so he could only communicate with Gohan through King Kai's telepathy. But he did a lot with this, urging his son to charge up the biggest Kamehameha he could with his one good working arm and unleash it at Cell. Gohan did exactly this, blasting a Kamehameha that was huge and ended up utterly destroying Cell. During the attack, the spirit of Goku was seen behind Gohan, as though his support was giving him the energy to defeat Cell, which is why the Kamehameha ended up being known as the father-son Kamehameha. It's also why we included it on our list. And with how beloved the Cell Saga is, especially this moment, it comes in at number 2 in our ranking. Last and certainly not least, we have what likely equates to the greatest Kamehameha in the entirety of Dragon Ball. None other than the blast that Goku used to combat Vegeta's Galick gun. This particular Kamehameha came during the Saiyan Saga, when Goku and Vegeta finally began their brawl. As it became clear that Goku was Vegeta's equal, the Saiyan Prince got desperate, charging up his Galick gun in an attempt to destroy the Earth. Yeah, Vegeta was acting like a sore loser, but it resulted in Goku combating it with a Kaioken Kamehameha that proceeded to go down in anime history as one of the most important, iconic, and overwhelmingly awesome beam struggles. And that right there is what made this Kamehameha the greatest that Goku ever performed. It was a struggle between good and evil, a meeting of two powerful warriors. The two energies fighting each other, representing their ideals, clashing as the whole world was at stake. Plus, it looked really freaking cool. That helps. No matter how you look at this part of the epic battle, the iconic beam struggle stands as one of the most awesome moments of the Dragon Ball franchise, making the Kamehameha that Goku contributed to it the absolute best in the series. So there you have it, our ranking of Goku's best Kamehameha. You already know our number 1 is the iconic Kamehameha Goku used against Vegeta's Galick gun in the Saiyan Saga. So tell us your favorite in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more Dragon Ball videos. And hey, thanks for watching.